Вон грибочек поднялся, хорошенький. Вон грибочек.
The Russian army's logistical backbone has been broken. Ukraine has struck two devastating blows, cutting off Russia's lifeline. On August 29th, the unmanned aerial vehicle distribution center in the Donetsk region was destroyed, and on September 18th, the ammunition depot of the 17th Tank Regiment of the 70th Motorized Rifle Division in Luhansk was leveled. But it wasn't just concrete structures that were hit. The target in Donetsk was not just an ordinary depot, it was the heartbeat of approximately 19,000 drones. These UAVs formed the basis of every discovery on the front line, every target marking, every deadly dive. This was the eyes and hands of the Russian army. Now those eyes are blind, those hands are shattered. In Luhansk, it wasn't just ammunition that exploded, the firepower of an entire region was silenced. Artillery batteries, Grad and Tornado G systems, they were all fed from that depot. Now, there is smoke and silence where that arsenal once stood. These attacks were not just military, they were strategic executions. The planning was flawless. It all began with the invisible heroes on the ground, Ukrainian partisans and resistance networks operating in the occupied territories. Agents of the ATESH partisan network secretly recorded the number of trucks entering and leaving the depot, the type of crates being transported, or military movements in the area using simple cell phones, and reported this information to Ukrainian intelligence. This initial information was combined with the second layer, namely signal intelligence. NATO and Ukrainian listening systems continuously monitored Russian military radio communications and data flows in the region. The third layer came from the sky, namely satellite intelligence. High-resolution satellite images provided by Western allies were examined around the clock by Ukrainian analysts. Analysts searched for changes around the seemingly ordinary warehouse pointed out by the partisans. Increased truck traffic throughout the night, new security measures, new trenches dug around buildings, or unusual heat signatures emanating from buildings when viewed with thermal cameras. All of these were evidence confirming the target's importance. When Ukraine combined the information from these three different sources, they all pointed to the same location. Now the operation to disrupt Russian logistics could begin. With targets this deep and this important, rather than expending Ukraine's limited supply of valuable missiles, a new strategy was deployed that would both surprise and defeat Russian air defenses. A multi-layered, intelligent UAV swarm attack. The UAVs used in this attack were not the small FPV drones we see on the front lines. These were developed by the Ukrainian defense industry in recent years, had a range of hundreds of kilometers, and could carry powerful warheads weighing between 20 and 50 kilograms. Most importantly, they were long-range kamikaze UAVs equipped with smart systems such as inertial navigation to counter Russian electronic warfare systems. The attack was carried out in several waves, like a symphony. In the darkness of night, dozens of decoy UAVs took off first. The task of some of these was to deliberately get caught by Russian air defense radars. When the Russian Pantsir and S-300 systems locked onto these fake targets and fired, they wasted valuable missiles and revealed their own positions. Other decoy UAVs carried electronic warfare modules to jam Russian radars and communication systems. The purpose of this first wave was to create gaps in the enemy's defense network and establish safe corridors for the next wave. Amid the chaos and electronic blackout created by the first wave, the main striking force, dozens of kamikaze UAVs carrying warheads, advanced toward their targets. These UAVs did not attack a single target, but as pre-programmed, attacked different targets simultaneously. It is estimated that 5 to 10 UAVs attacked the massive UAV depot in Donetsk simultaneously from different angles. As the first drones pierced the warehouse's roof and walls, those following behind entered through the holes, triggering a chain reaction that ignited thousands of drone batteries and explosives inside. A similar tactic was used for the ammunition depot in Luhansk. By targeting weak points such as the shelter's ventilation systems or doors, a hellish scene was created inside. Minutes after all this destruction, a third wave of UAVs, namely reconnaissance UAVs equipped with high-resolution cameras, flew over the scene to assess the damage. What does the destruction of 19,000 drones mean? In today's warfare, drones are no longer just eyes in the sky. They are also the ears, hands, and reflexes of the front line. These vehicles are the compass that guides a commander in the dark, the guide that helps an artillery battery pinpoint its target. And that is precisely why Russia has been trying to ramp up its production of FPV and reconnaissance drones to industrial levels over the past year. Engines imported from Iran, camera systems from China, and electronic circuits modified by Russian engineers all converged at that massive distribution center in Donetsk. It functioned like a factory, pumping drones to the Eastern Front. Ukrainian intelligence saw this center as a nerve node whose heartbeat needed to be stopped. And now, that center is just a pile of ashes. What was inside? The Molniya UAV, developed for rapid reconnaissance missions, gliding at low altitude, undetectable by enemy radar. The Boomerang, one of the most dangerous of the kamikaze class. This system, capable of thermal targeting without GPS guidance, was known as the nightmare of armored vehicles. The Vandal Novgorodsky, an extremely lightweight yet effective FPV drone. A specially designed model, shielded against electronic jamming and equipped with RF redundancy. The long-range reconnaissance platform Gorinik, used to track mobile units behind enemy lines. In addition to these, thousands of spare batteries, communication modules, video transmitters, control stations, RF amplifiers, and ground antennas were rendered unusable as a result of the attack. The destruction of this center means that Ukraine has destroyed Russia's massive drone fleet, which it had been trying to build for months before a single one even reached the front lines. This means that Ukraine has already won the drone superiority battle on the entire Eastern Front for the next few months. Now, every UAV buzzing above the head of a Russian soldier in the trenches will be known to be an enemy, not a friend. He will not be able to give target coordinates to his own artillery, nor will he be able to see what is happening in the Ukrainian positions ahead. In other words, he will be forced to wait blindly in his own trench, under the watchful eyes of hundreds of eyes tracking Ukraine's every move and ready to hunt him down. What does a tank regiment without ammunition do? That massive ammunition depot destroyed in Luhansk was not just a depot. It was the nerve center of the Russian army's combat capacity on the Eastern Front. This center housed thousands of ZUBK-14 high-precision tank munitions, hundreds of thousands of 152mm artillery shells, tens of thousands of RPGs, hand grenades, mines, and light weapon ammunition of various calibers. In other words, it carried the striking fist of an attack first, then the breath of the front line. What remained after the attack were traces of explosions that turned the ground upside down and war plans reduced to ashes. So, what does this mean? Imagine a tank regiment, T-72B3S, T-80US, equipped with thermal sights, reactive armor, laser guidance systems, each one a war machine worth millions of dollars. But what if they have no ammunition? Then these giant steel beasts are no different from metal coffins.